The Valvoline Forest Rally Championship in association with Motorsport Ireland and Quilcha. Welcome to County Waterford for the Lismore House Hotel Moonraker Forestry Rally. The bustling heritage town of Lismore played host to round 3 of the Valvoline Forest Rally Championship, which once again saw a host of top-class competitors turn out to do battle over some spectacular gravel stages.
We're here at Park Ferma in Lismore, Waterford for round 3 of the Valvoline Irish Forestry Championships. Last time out, he took maximum points, but today, can the Fermanagh man Gary Jennings increase his 6-point lead at the top of the championship table? Stay tuned to find out. Gary Jennings, you dominated round 1, you took maximum points out in round 2. You really are the man to beat here today.
Yeah, I think the first 2 rallies kind of suited me, you know, but we're coming down here, down to all these boys' home territory, so yeah, it's going to be a bit different maybe today.
Owen Murphy, you're on home turf today, as they say. Surely you have a little advantage over the rest of the drivers?
I wouldn't call it an advantage. This is Waterford, we're Cork people. No, we done this rally last year, and the first 2 stages are similar, but we had awful misfortune last year. We were leading the event, and unfortunately we burst the radiator and the engine gave out, so we're hoping for a bit better luck this year.
Colin Britton, you're just lying behind Gary Jennings in the championship. You really need to get some time on him today.
Yeah, we really need to bone it from the first stage. Really need to try and beat him on 1 or 2 rounds maybe to try and get any chance at the championship, you know. But if the car goes all right, we'll give it a good shot.
In the junior category, Dubliner Ian Downey had made the best possible start to the season with class wins on the opening 2 rounds.
So far it's going very well, so a repeat of that today and I'll be very happy with.
Pierce Downey was top of the points table in Class 2 after finishing in the runner-up spot on the first 2 rounds.
We just had 2 good finishes so far. Hopefully we'll get there to the finish ground again this evening.
So with the weather proving very favourable for all concerned, the competitors headed for the hills around Lismore to tackle the first loop of stages. Running first on the road were Gary Jennings and Barry McNulty in the Subaru 555. The pair went fastest on the opening stage and joint fastest on the second to hold a 3-second lead after the first loop.
3, 2, 1, go.
Tying with Jennings on stage 2, current champion Owen Murphy trailed the Fermanagh man by the 3 seconds that separated them after the opening stage.
Small crest, 60 over bad bumps, 6 right long over bumps, watch it, and left into 3 right long tightens. Left into 3 right long tightens. 170, Christmas trees at the end. Right to Christmas trees, 170. 3 left over bumps, push, 250. Turn square left and keep tidy, step into the post. Turn square left, keep tidy, step into the post. Comes back, comes back, comes back. 206 right, continues and tight for 100.
Winner here in 2010, Pat O'Connell, was a little off the pace this year. The former Forest champion held joint 4th after 2 stages in his Mitsubishi Evo 9. Tying with the Tipperary man was Tyrone's Colin Britton, who admitted to being a little rusty on the first loop of stages.
Flat 2 right, 450 over the bumps up middle. Flat 2 right, 450 over the bumps. Flat 2 right. Square left, we're up at the top. Keep going, do you see the square left? You have the chair on, square left. Keep going, that's it. 150. Get her in, that's it. 3 right, half long, push, 3 right, half long.
Another to be caught sleeping on the opening loop was Stephen Wright. The young Monaghan man held 7th overall, with his sister Suzanne navigating in the Evo 6. Happier with their opening loop were more Monaghan siblings, Vincent and JP Macquarie, who held 3rd place in their Evo 9. Yet more siblings, the Lucy brothers, Jared and James from Cork, held 8th overall after 2 stages. 6 seconds further adrift in joint 9th place were John McLaughlin and Emmett Sherry. Tying for the 9th spot were 2-wheel drive leaders Desi Henry and Niall Burns in the front-wheel drive Citroën DS3. 4 seconds behind was the second of the PRH construction cars, driven by Desi's older brother Niall Henry.
Niall, how was that run out for you?
Yeah, first 2 done there. Melon enough. I was untidy through the first stage. I was sliding wide in junctions and in and out of small shocks and stuff, but just getting adapted to the car and the stages, you know, but hopefully we can tidy ourselves up from here on in.
Trailing now by just 2 seconds in Class 8 were Dubliners Stephen Cullen and Seamus O'Grady. Running later on the road but holding 6th overall were Liam Regan and Damien Duff in the Peugeot 206. Kilkenny's Shay Power led the rear-wheel drive section and was just 4 seconds behind Desi Henry in the overall 2-wheel drive battle. 6 seconds further behind was Tipperary man James Coleman in the Sureway Forklifts Escort.
60 and a 1 left through gates and keep it neat, 130 up the middle, keep it neat, 130 up the middle, and a late long 3 right, it's late, a late long 3 right, into a 2 right past Bush, into a 2 right, 100, 100, 3 left, tightens 4 left.
2 seconds slower again was Monaghan crew Mickey Conlon and Damien McCabe. It proved a bad event for 2-wheel drive points leader Adrian McElhenney. The Donegal man was forced to retire with mechanical trouble in the Peugeot. Taking the early Class 3 lead was Andrew Fanning in the Valvoline-sponsored Ford Puma.
Tight, 3 right knees. 130, tight.
3 right.
Yeah, knees, tight. 130. 1 left past logs, 60. 2 right in, 130. 2 right again, now 130.
In Class 4, Alan and James Cummins were the men to catch after the opening loop. Munster clubman Sean Benskin lay 17 seconds behind to hold 3rd in class after 2 stages. Not to be outdone was nephew Ray Benskin, who went 3 seconds quicker to hold 2nd in class after the opening loop.
Over bumps, okay into flat crest and 1 right. 2 right, bumps okay, flat crest, 1 right and fast 3 right in, 60. 1 right into fast 3 right in, 80. Fast 3 right in, 80. 1 right over crest into top 40, 3 left in.
In the junior class, there was no hat-trick of victories for Ian Downey, as the Dubliner retired with mechanical trouble after stage 1. Leading the junior class after the opening loop was Galway's Dean Raftery.
Dean, great time there. You're after coming first out of Class 9 on stage 1.
Yeah, we're happy enough now. Stage 1 was okay, but we went better on stage 2. But our main competitor is gone now, something he was pulled up on stage 2, but you're trying to keep it tidy now for the rest of the day, and hopefully it'll be all right.
3rd in the junior class after a demanding opening stage was Michael Ryan.
And 4 left, keep in fast. So 4 left, keep in fast, 130 out.
Sadly, retirement beckoned when the Civic's drive shaft broke on stage 2. Despite a troublesome opening loop, Daniel Cronin held second in the junior class.
We had no intercom in the first stage, and the same in the second stage. In the first square left, we went down, came in a bit too fast, and ended up bending the front right-hand wishbone, so we're trying to start that now on.
Emmett Cronin, no relation, took the early lead in Class 1, ahead of Nicky Hegarty, also in a Mark II Escort.
Up the middle over bumps. There's a loose square left at the end of this. You'll see the arrows. Go on. Loose square left.
Very wavy.
The arrows. Three right long.
4 seconds further back to hold third in Class 1 were John and Kieran Rafter in the Volkswagen Polo.
4 left in uphill and 1 right into 2 left over crest bumps, 100 short, 3 right over dip and mid over flat crest, over finish 600.
Another crew enjoying the drive were Class 2 leaders Pascal O'Shea and Robbie Hennessy. Just 2 seconds adrift was Tullamore farmer Michael Nevin with co-driver David Ford. Meanwhile, back at the head of the rally, it proved a dramatic repeat loop for Gary Jennings, who flipped his Subaru onto its roof on stage 4. Luckily, there were spectators on hand to right the car, which had only sustained cosmetic damage. But Jennings had now lost the lead and slipped to 5th overall. Having lost the windshield in the accident, Gary was very grateful to Desi Henry, who kindly donated his Citroen's spare one. Surprisingly, a perfect fit for the Subaru, which arrived back in service looking a little worse for wear.
Gary, you had a bad roll there in stage 4. Tell us about it.
Yeah, it's just a stupid mistake, you know. It was a square right, we just cut in and it was as simple as a roll, like we just lay on a roof, but there were spectators there, but it just took them a while coming, so that's where the time was lost, you know. Once we got back on their wheels, we were okay, but unfortunately the windscreen came in then around us, so we couldn't really see, but yeah, too big of a time loss, you know, so yeah, well, interesting.
So that stage 4 roll saw Jennings slip to 5th, while Owen Murphy took the lead at the halfway point.
Well, it's been an eventful day here today. Jennings has just had an off on stage 4. He's after losing some time. Can he make up that time? Join us after the break.
Welcome back to Waterford for part 2 of the Lismore House Hotel Moonraker Forestry Rally. Before the break, Gary Jennings had slipped from 1st to 5th after a stage 4 roll. The 2 fastest times on the new afternoon loop saw the Fermanagh man gain a place to lie 4th overall after stage 6. Unhappy with the setup of his Hancock Evo 9 for the first afternoon loop, Owen Murphy's lead was reduced to just 7 seconds after stage 6.
The middle over flat crest bump, 60. Right in the left over small flat crest bump, 250. Tight 2 right in the narrow junction. The tight 2, it's narrow. The 2 left plus, 60. Turn square right in.
Pat O'Connell and Mark Wiley had a consistent drive through the first loop of afternoon stages to hold 3rd place and was now just 2 seconds behind Vincent Mackery in his similar machine. 6 seconds further back in 5th was the Mitsubishi of Colin Britton, who had been overtaken by Gary Jennings on the leaderboard.
It's a bad one, don't cut it, watch it. Flat left over the crest bump, flat one right, 300. 5 right continues and opens. 5 right opens and continues for 200. This 5 goes away around. 5 right continues.
It was a good loop for second-placed Vincent Mackery, who took 8 seconds off Owen Murphy's lead to leave just a 7-second deficit going into the final loop.
Owen Murphy, you're in a great position here today. Is there going to be an upset?
It's not looking so good now. We had a healthy lead going to the last few stages, but after hemorrhaging huge time, the car was undrivable through the last two. We couldn't turn into any corner. We couldn't. So after trying a few changes on, hopefully that'll get the pace back up again.
Vincent, you're about 7 seconds there behind Owen Murphy.
Yeah, we're 7 seconds. There's not much in it now. I think we took 8 off him on the last stage there, so it's all to play for now on the last 2 stages.
Nicky Hegarty, you're leading Class 1. How have the stages been for you so far?
The first loop round we were very slippy, the first 2 stages this morning, but the second loop through it got a lot drier and there was a lot more grip there. And I only have the car out for today, so the first couple of stages was taking to getting used to it, but I pushed on the 3rd and 4th stage now and improved my time a bit. And the second loop then stage 5 and 6 were slippy the first time round, but probably again now for the second round there'll be a lot tighter and a lot more grip there, but great fun so far, I have to admit.
Nicky Hegarty held the lead in Class 1 going into the final loop, but it was the end of the line for John and Kieran Rafter, who retired with mechanical trouble in the Volkswagen Polo. Also out were former class leaders Emmett Cronin and Joe O'Brien in the Escort Mark II. Holding firm over the final loop to take the Class 1 win and 20th overall were Nicky Hegarty and Johnny Keneally. It was a non-finish for Class 2 points leader Pearse Dohney, who retired his Opel Corsa before the final loop. Second on the points table, Pascal O'Shea ended his rally on stage 6 when he flipped his Escort onto its roof. No such drama for Tom Murphy and Colin Moynihan, who finished second in Class 2 in their sideways Escort. Michael Navan and David Ford took the Class 2 win in the Garrahy Tractors Mark II. In Class 3, it was a 3rd place finish for Liam Lynch and Kieran Madden. Runners-up in the class, Alan Tracy and Brian O'Keefe, who finished 17th overall and were top Monster Club crew in the newly engined Toyota Corolla. Andrew Fanning and Derek Gibbs went 28 seconds quicker to take the Class 3 win and 16th overall in the Valvoline Puma. Erstwhile, Class 4 leaders Alan and James Cummins had to settle for 3rd place after a troublesome afternoon in the Escort. John Murphy and Niall Fitzpatrick took 2nd in class in their similar machine. After the retirement of Sean Benskin, it was left to nephew Ray to fly the family flag, which he did to great effect, taking the top spot in Class 4 and 15th overall. Mickey Conlon had been pushing for the top spot in Class 5 before mechanical trouble forced retirement on the last stage. Desi Henry slid his Citroën DS3 onto its side on stage 4, costing him almost 5 minutes. But some scorching times over the afternoon stages saw the Antrim man climb back to 2nd in Class 5 and 18th overall. James Coleman took the Class 5 trophy and finished 12th overall with co-driver Kay Shanahan. In Class 6, it was a bad day at the office for Cork's Mark Murphy, who retired with mechanical problems on stage 5. Liam Regan had been 6th overall before retiring his Peugeot on the penultimate stage. Runners-up in Class 6 were the only all-female crew in the event, Gemma Curley and Lynn Martin in the Subaru Impreza. Stephen and Suzanne Wright took the Class 6 trophy and finished 6th overall in the Mitsubishi. In Class 9, the junior class, Stephen Lane and Jill White took 3rd place in the Corolla. Daniel Cronin and Brian Duggan finished 2nd in class and 19th overall in the Peugeot 206. But it was a convincing win in the class for Dean Rafferty and Aileen Kelly, who finished 14th overall in the Honda Civic. After a poor opening loop, Peter McCullough and Alan Dolan fought back well to finish 13th overall and 7th in Group A. 11th overall and 6th in Group N were Dubliners Stephen Cullen and Seamus O'Grady. Kilkenny's Shay Power and Paul Cullins finished 10th overall and were the quickest two-wheel drive crew. 9th overall and 5th in Group N were Antrim crew Niall Henry and John Roan in the spectacular PRH Construction Impreza. Taking a tidier line to finish 4th in class and 8th overall were John McLaughlin and Emmett Sherry. Cork brothers Jared and James Lucy took 3rd in class and finished 7th overall. Runners-up in Class 8 and 5th overall were Colin Britton and Arthur Cairns, who were just 7 seconds behind Class 8 winners Pat O'Connell and Mark Wiley, who finished 4th overall. A mere 1 second ahead in 3rd were Vincent and JP Mackery, who themselves were just 1 second behind runners-up Gary Jennings and Barry McNulty, who made a fantastic comeback from their Stage 4 role to finish 12 seconds behind overall winners Owen Murphy and James O'Brien. It was the defending champions' first win of the season, and a much-needed one at that, after missing round 1 and a non-finish in round 2.
We had a few issues on 2 stages with the wrong tyre on, and we were losing time severely, but we had the right ones on for the last 2 stages, and we pushed like hell, and it paid out for us in the end, thank God.
Gary, you must have been flat out on those last couple of stages to come in 2nd place after the roll earlier.
Yeah, we had a really good pace, you know. It's just a pity we run out of stage miles, you know, maybe another stage or 2 and we possibly could have pulled the win out of the bag. But yeah, you know, 2nd's good for the championship.
In the junior championship, Dean Rafferty was delighted to celebrate his first maximum score of the season.
Dean, great result today. 1st place for the juniors. Congratulations.
Yeah, we're delighted now with the result. Great day out altogether. It was a lovely day for it, and car was perfect and co-driver was perfect, so happy out.
After a very close battle at the Moonraker Rally, a look at the championship standings shows it's tight at the top of the points table as well, at the midway point of the season.
Well, that's it for round 3 here in Lismore. Lots of excitement here today, and also a little upset for Gary Jennings. But what a win for Cork man Owen Murphy, which makes for a very eventful round 4 down on his home turf. From myself and all the crew at On the Limit Sports, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.